Good morning, class. Now we are going to discuss chapter 2, The Happy Prince. It is a story about miserable condition of poor and helpless. Okay. Okay. Uh, this story is about a statue, okay, which stood in the city center, and it is called Happy Prince, which stood on tall column at the city center. The statue was covered with golden leaves. It is a description of a statue. It has covered with golden leaves. His eyes are of sapphire gem. Okay, and there is a ruby in his sword hilt. Sword hilt means it is a handle of sword. Okay. Now the happy prince can see everything, and he saw the pathetic plight of the poor. At that height, he can see everything, and he saw the pathetic plight. Plight means miseries of poor or garibi, pathetic plight of the poor. Okay. Meanwhile, a little swallow. Swallow, what is a swallow? Swallow is a kind of bird, flew over the city and its friends left for Egypt. But he stayed back because he was in love with the reed. What do you mean by reed? Reed is a dried grass happens to see in summer. Okay, reed is a dried grass happen to see in summer. So why the swallow stayed back? Because he was in love with the reed, and his friends left for Egypt. Okay. Swallow is a kind of bird which doesn't bear the winter. Okay, winter season. He only survive in the hotter climate. Okay, when the winter set in, when the winter about to set in, his friends left for hotter climate. Hotter climate. Okay, so Egypt is a hotter climate region. Okay, that's why they left for the Egypt. But this swallow stayed back in the city. Okay, when he was lonely, he came and sat on the podium on which the statue of the happy prince stood. Okay, what do you mean by podium? Podium is a stone on which the statue is kept, okay, or stood. Okay, when he was sat on the podium, suddenly a drop of water fell over him. Okay, suddenly a drop of water fell over him as he was about to sleep. As he was about to sleep. Okay, he amazed as there was no cloud. Okay, so when he was about to fly, another drop. So when the drop fall on him, he decided to go somewhere else. When he was about to fly, another drop of water fell over him. Okay, and he noticed the happy prince statue was weeping. Okay, the happy prince was weeping. What do you mean by weeping? Weeping is a crying. Okay, weeping means crying. Now the statue told the swallow he hadn't know what tears were when he was alive. Okay, he mentioned that when he was alive, he doesn't know, he hadn't know what tears are, what tears were. Okay, now he realized when he was stood on the podium as a statue, then he realized what tears were. Okay, because he could see everything, because he could see everything from that height, and he saw that the miseries of the city, miseries means problems of the city. Okay, now he realized, okay, there are miseries in the city. Okay, the statue told the swallow about the seamstress. Okay, now the swallow was heard about the seamstress from the statue. Okay, the happy prince told him about the seamstress. What do you mean by seamstress? Seamstress, a woman who sews, especially who earns her living by sewing. Okay, seamstress. Seamstress, a woman who sews, especially who earns her living by sewing, means silai karna. She is embroidering flowers on the satin gown of the queen's maid of honor. Okay, she was embroidering flowers. What is the maid of honor? Like दासियां, queen की दासियां. Her son was suffering from fever, and at that time, her son was suffering from fever. The happy prince asked the swallow to pick ruby from his sword and give that to her. Okay, okay. Now the swallow took the ruby and put it near Thimble. What do you mean by thimble? Thimble is a metal cap worn on finger while pushing needle in cloth. This thimble is used by the seamstress woman. So put near he put Ruby near the thimble, and the swallow also fanned the boy forehead, so he sank into deep slumber. Okay, he also fanned the boy forehead. Okay, so he could sleep in quietly. Okay, so he could sleep quietly. Okay, and comfortably. Now the next slide. The happy prince asked Swallow to stay one more night. Okay, when he put the ruby near woman, he get back to the happy prince, and the happy prince asked Swallow to stay one more night. He told him about the playwright who was too cold to write and finish it for the director. Earlier, there was no movies, so they play in the theater, like drama in the theater, for their entertainment purposes. Okay, and like the you have heard the Romeo and Juliet drama, okay, written by Shakespeare, and all that. So he asked Swallow to pluck one sapphire because the playwright was cold, and he was unable to write and finish the play. Okay, so he asked Swallow to pluck one sapphire from an eye and give it to him. The playwright become happy to see the sapphire and enable him to finish the play. Okay, the playwright become happy to see the sapphire and enable him to finish the play. Okay, now he again get back to the prince. Now the happy prince uh, asked Swallow to stay for a night. Okay, he told the swallow about the little match girl in the square below. Her matches are fallen into the gutter. Her father would punish her if she back home without money. Okay, without money. So the happy prince asked Swallow to pluck another sapphire and requested to give her. Okay, the swallow did as he said. Okay, the swallow placed sapphire into the girl's hand and flew back to the happy prince. Okay, when swallow got back to the happy prince, now the swallow itself told about the hungry children and the poor people in the city. Now the happy prince requested him to take every leaf, every golden leaf of the fine gold over his body and gave them to poor and hungry children. Okay. As a result, the poor man laughed and children played. Okay. Now the winter set in. Okay. After that, the winter set in and snow and frost appeared. Okay. The poor little swallow grew colder and colder, but kept staying with the happy prince. Okay. I've already told you that the poor swallow doesn't bear the winter season. Okay, they doesn't wear the cold cold winter. Okay, but he kept staying with the happy prince. Instead, he kept staying with the happy prince. However, he realized his death was near because swallow don't bear the cold climate. Okay, the swallow asked the happy prince to let him kiss on his hand, but the happy prince asked him to kiss on the lips before going to Egypt. Here the prince thought he was leaving for Egypt. Okay, he was leaving for Egypt. But the swallow told the happy prince truth. Be- Truth that he was going to die soon, and suddenly he fell down dead. Okay, he fell down and dead. Due to the sadness, there was a crack appeared inside the statue. Due to sadness, there was a crack appeared inside the statue. The heart of the happy prince broke into two. Meanwhile, the mayor was passing near the statue. They saw the statue without sapphires, ruby, golden leaves, and they declared it ugly. Okay, because everything that makes that statue attractive is gone. What are the things? That is ruby, sapphire, and golden leaves, and all these things are gone. Okay, so the mayor declared it ugly and ordered to destroy it in melting in fire. Okay, so the mayor of the city ordered to destroy the statue and by melting in fire. So and mayor told him that the statue must be made with metal of the happy prince. Here the mayor told that his own statue must be made with the metal of the Happy Prince statue. Okay. But the broken heart of the Happy Prince didn't melt in the furnace. Furnace means bhatti. Okay. So, but the broken heart of the Happy Prince didn't melt in the furnace, so it thrown away in the heap, in the dust heap near shallow bird dead body was lying. Okay. God asked for his angels to bring him the two most precious things in the city. Okay. What are the precious things in the city according to God? The broken heart of the Happy Prince and the dead body of the swallow. Okay. The angels obeyed the God, and they bring the body, the swallow bird body, and the broken heart of the Happy Prince. And the God said the little bird would sing for him forever in the garden of paradise, and the Happy Prince would praise him forever in the city of gold. So this is the end of this story, and this is the end of part 1 of this chapter. In the next video I'll give you the question and answers. uh, Now